is one of the most unique individuals who I have ever met. For those of you here today who have never met Charlie, I would like to take a few minutes to paint a picture of who he is. And for those of you who have known Charlie over the past 4 years, I would like to take a few minutes to reminisce. To begin with, as Mrs. Brown has said, he is ubiquitous. He is like carbon. He is just everywhere. Charlie is always around. He's often here until late at night, and at times it seems as if in 3 classes at once. He is so excited by learning and science and explaining his theories that sometimes he simply ignores a subtle hint that it is time to move on from a conversation. For instance, me. Well, Charlie, I need to go make some copies. Maybe we can pick this up later. Charlie, that's all right, Metzler. I'll walk with you and continue to explain why neutrons don't exist. He is equally comfortable in taking students and talking with students and teachers, and at times he makes his way into conversations because, well, he thinks of himself as part of the faculty. He is also very, very intelligent. As much as I hate to admit it, at times he is. He loves academics, and in particular all things science and math, except for those menial topics he feels are beneath him, like biology and algebra. As Mr. Smith noted, he has devoured the academic program here. Over the last summer, he took it upon himself, just as Newton had done centuries before, to teach himself calculus. I will point out that Newton had no books, no internet, and no one in the history of mankind had ever done calculus before, but that's besides the point. Only the rarest of students would have the interest or the aptitude to take on such a difficult subject by themselves over summer break. Mr. Coddington has compared him to Cain in Kung Fu, wandering the earth in search of knowledge. On more than one occasion, he has stated to me, "I don't care about the bloody grade, I just need to know why." He is also a character. To understand Charlie, think of a young Albert Einstein crossed with Benny Hill. Mr. Aponic has described him as stylishly disheveled. Adding to his character is his Britishness. He is very British. At times a little too British. It's a fact that during the first weeks that Mr. Smith knew Charlie, he once wondered aloud, what's with the kid who has the fake overdone British accent? Much to the amusement and sometimes frustration of the faculty and student body, this is not a fake accent, it's just Charlie. But his overdone expressions and mannerisms are a product of a much richer heritage that includes Turkish, French-Canadian, and yes, American. Once Charlie came into school very excited to tell me that he had purchased 500 solenoids for just $7 over the weekend on the internet. I asked him what he was going to do with 500 solenoids, part of me fearing a time machine or possibly doomsday device in the works. He shot me a frustrated look and simply said, "You're missing the point, Metzler. It's 500 solenoids for $7. I'll think of something." And despite this analytical side, he is very artistic. He can frequently be found playing the guitar in classrooms before, after, and sometimes during lectures. He can also be found from time to time sitting in a hallway, playing his guitar between classes just to give the upper school hallway that train station you feel. For the first 6 months, he played nothing but Dust in the Wind over and over. Much to everyone's delight, however, he either learned another song or got sick of it as we had, and he now possesses a vast array of styles and melodies. He has been a regular fixture in our theater department over the years, performing such enigmatic roles as Ebenezer Scrooge, Macbeth, and Einstein. In probably the most memorable moment in Davidson Day theatrical history, while playing Macbeth in a dramatic sword fight with Macduff, Charlie's sword suddenly snapped in half. Ever the quick wit, he disarmed Macduff and stabbed him with his own sword to a raucous laughter. Only Charlie could turn Macbeth into a comedy. He is ambitious also. Charlie has taken 6 AP tests, more than any other Davidson Day student ever. And to this point, he has gotten nothing but 5s. This year, he even took an AP World History, a subject that he openly dislikes. His rationale was that he would take it now, get a 5, and not have to waste his time in college taking a history class. After a year's worth of work, he has now been accepted to Tufts University, a school that would not have required him to take history anyhow. course, I would be remiss if I did not mention that he loves to be right, even when he is not. He will argue with classmates, me, Mrs. Brown, the AP Calculus textbook, himself, Hardy Weinberg, U Texas, the makers of Trivial Pursuit, and anything else who stands in his way. And although he's more often wrong than right, 93% of the time actually, he always has the confidence to stand up for his thought process the next time. It never occurs to him that maybe he is wrong until he realizes that he is. He usually tries to explain that away with a quick, yeah, but if 3 times 2 was 5, then all of my integrations would be correct, so it's irrelevant. As annoying as this may be at times, I really think this is a strength that will allow him to be successful as I know he will be in the future. He also loves to talk about black holes. He will lecture to anyone about black holes. He has stood before many a class talking about black holes. In fact, I dare anyone here tonight to ask Charlie about black holes after the conclusion of commencement. And finally, he will be missed. He is so much a part of this school, it is hard to imagine what it will be like without him here. I, for one, know that when classes resume for the fall, something will be missing from my classroom and my day. But, as it has come time for all of these young men and women to move on, so too is it for Charlie. He is off to great things, I'm sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now invite Charlie Colley up onto the stage to deliver the Class of 2012 valedictorian address.
All right, Colley.